So I'm going to do problem 3 from assignment A-19 part 1. It's the reteaching 4.4. So in this case here, I'm looking for the rule. So this is kind of fun because it's just a find pattern. And I like those little puzzle games. So I have x, and over here I have f of x. And you need to remember f of x is simply another word for y. So it gives you these little ordered pairs. So let's see what happens here. Then I have 5, and I have 25. So I want to look for how do I get from x to f of x. Well, the pattern that I see is that I can't add something because each value of y doesn't go up the same amount. They're not multiplied by the same number, but I do see that if I square x, I get f of x every time. For instance, so I think my pattern is that f of x is equal to x squared. Let's go ahead and try it now. So if I take 0 and square it, sure enough, I get 0. There's the first ordered pair. If I take 3 and square it, that's beautiful, 2, I get 9. That one worked. If I do negative 1, and I take that quantity and square it, sure enough, I get 1. And if I take 5 and square it, I get my 25. I'm a happy camper, and that worked perfectly. There's an example of number 3. Once again, what I looked for was in my f of x column. The values didn't increase by the same amount each time. Amount every time. So I looked at the square. At the square of... Are you having fun listening to me? I'm really embarrassed that you're here, just so you know, as I do this. Okay, come on. Let me go to the next one. Next thing. So now I'm going to do number 9 from your homework on part 1 still. It says a worker's earnings, e to the n, for n hours of work when the hourly wage is $8.25. So e to the n, once again, is a function of n. That means it is the equivalent to my y value. So you need to understand that e to the n is a function of n. Therefore, So e to the n is a function that disappeared. I'm all confused. E to the n is a function of n, therefore it's the same thing as y. So we're going to go ahead here and say e to the n is dependent on, so the total earnings that the worker makes is dependent on how many hours he worked times his hourly wage. And that's it, folks. That's all she wrote. There's number 9 for you. Let's go ahead and take a look at 10. Which says the distance, let me go quickly, f of d. So once again, f of d is the same thing as y, traveled in feet. When you know the distance, d, in yards. So what you need to realize is that there are, in fact, 3 feet in every yard. So I want to know f of d, which is the distance in feet. So f of d is going to be equal to the total distance divided by 3. And if I'm feeling insecure about that, I can actually plug in some values. So if I said he went, the distance in feet. Oops, see, that's wrong. That's a good thing I did my little check. It's actually 3 times d. because I'm looking for the distance in feet. So if I take the yards, let's say he went 2 yards, that means he went 6 feet. If he went 4 yards, that would mean he went 12 feet. And that takes care of that. So I'm going to do number 7 from A-19, part 2. It says you invest $500 to buy jackets and sell them for $25 each. Write a function to determine profit. Well, once again, profit is equal to the total dollars brought in minus my cost. So in this case, my profit is a function of the number of jackets that I sell. So that's going to be equal to the total amount of money I bring in. Well, I get $25 for every jacket I sell, and from that, that's my total amount I bring in. So if I sell 10 jackets, I make $250. So I'm going to take that total amount I bring in, and I have to subtract my cost. That leaves me with my profit function. Once again, my profit is dependent on how many jackets I sell. Okay, so part B, I need to use the rule if I sell 50 jackets. So all I'm going to do here is substitute 50 for J. So I'm going to get P of 50 jackets is equal to 25 times 50 minus 500. And if I bring out think about what that gives me, then I have 25 times 50, and that's, sloppy, 1,250 minus that cost, which was $500, and my profit is $750. Not bad for a day's work. There you go. And part C says, how many jackets do you need to sell in order to get back your investment? So I need to break even in this case. Here, let me move on to a new slide here. So part C is, how many jackets do I need to sell to get back my investment? So in this case here, I need to say that my profit is nothing. I don't make any money, but I don't lose any money either, is equal to 25J minus 500. Therefore 500 is equal to 25J. I divide both sides by 25, and I get J is equal to 20. So in order to break even, I'm just about done. Break even, you must sell 20 jackets. There you go.